Commission meeting to order. If you could all please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Appreciate it. Okay. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah.
All right. Okay. Roll call, please.
Chair Gutierrez.
Present.
Commissioner Gilbert.
Present.
Commissioner Esbender.
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Present.
Vice Chair Poikert. One absent, two vacancies.
Okay. Are there any communication requests on anything not on the agenda today?
Not tonight.
Okay. We have the Planning Commission meeting minutes from May 1st. We get a chance to review those. Any comments or concerns?
Move to accept the Planning Commission meeting minutes from May 1, 2024. Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed? Okay. On to our first item, please.
Good evening, Commissioner. Jason Foster, Associate Manager of City of Rialto. This evening is the first project, the request for conditional development permit number 2024-05, and a separate determination of public convenience and necessity. This is for a new bar that will be going in here at 108 South Riverside Avenue. It's on the west side of Riverside Avenue, just south of West First Street in the old Patio West deli. They'll be taking over that spot. It's currently vacant. Here's the floor plan with, it'll usually be a indoor with the bar and seating area. They're going to be requesting an approval for live entertainment with music, comedian, karaoke, and DJs. They will not be serving any food except for simple snacks, peanuts, pretzels, that type of snack food. Their first request is for conditional development permit 2024-0005 to allow the live entertainment. Live entertainment is not mentioned in the central area specific plan, and the code states that anything not mentioned would require planning commission approval. So that's why we're here. Mr. Garcia here is the applicant. He has prepared a crime prevention plan that includes an installation of security cameras, ADT alarm system with police alert, security guards on site to ensure and enforce policy and state regulations. And he will be training his staff to conform with the ABC regulations. The Rialto Police Department has reviewed this project and is not opposed to it. Mr. Garcia also is being required by the Alcohol Beverage Control to receive approval for a public convenience and necessity letter in order to obtain a Type 42 license. This is for the consumption of beer and wine. This Planning Commission request is keeping in line with PCN requests in the past for approval. ABC is considered a census tract to be over-concentrated. There are currently 10 active ABC licenses in Census Tract 137, in which Mr. Garcia's establishment is located. It only permits 3 of the type 42 beer and wine license by right. Right now, there's only one other PC type 42 in that area.
Which one is that?
That is, I believe that's the Bellevue.
Which one?
I believe it's the Bellevue, but I'd have to get back to you for
Okay, no problem.
the specifics to make sure that's correct. ABC is requesting a public convenience and necessity letter before issuing Mr. Garcia a license. The Planning Division recommends that the Planning Commission determine the project is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to Section 15301, Class 1, existing facilities, and adopt a resolution making a finding of public convenience or necessity to allow the on-sale of beer and wine for the establishment of the Soldy's Lounge at 108 South Riverside Avenue, and to adopt a resolution approving the conditional development permit number 2024-0005, allowing for the live entertainment.
Okay.
And that would conclude my presentation, sir.
Any questions, staff, before we open the public?
There is one, I'm
Yes.
sorry, quickly, there's one more thing. We are amending one of the conditions of approval, and that sheet is in front of you. The bold part is we will be adding that to that particular condition.
As part of the approval?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. All right.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The name, it's a little bit, it's unusual, the spelling. And I thought, well, I'm gonna ask because I don't know. So I
Okay.
don't know.
Well, how about
I'll turn that over.
Let's open the public hearing, we'll have them come on up.
Well, I want to ask him one more question.
Yes, sir.
The ABC has, they're stating that there's 10 licenses within that area,
Yes, sir.
and they should only be 3.
Sir, there's a variety of licenses. So that there are 10 licenses, or 10 licensees. There's actually 14 licenses with 10 licensees, but there are different variations of different kinds of ABC licenses. So,
So some of them are alcohol and some are beer and wine.
correct, some portable bar license is one of them. There are 2 ABC event permits. So there's a variety of different licenses that ABC issues involving alcohol. But Mr. Garcia's will be the second beer and wine only license.
So the city's not considering there's too many licenses in that area then?
No, sir.
Okay.
There's only 2, that would be the second bar on that street right there, right? You have Scott.
There's 7 within
Those are 4?
that tract there, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's go and open the public hearing and have the applicant come up, please. And Mr. Gonzalez had a question regarding the name.
How's it going, sir? So what the name, I'm sorry, let me adjust this real quick. So what Soldies is, it's a new genre of music. It basically is kind of like modern oldies, live band. So it's kind of like 50s, 60s type of music, which is so incorporated with oldies. It's called Soldies.
Oh.
So like your modern James Brown or your Delphonics, Temperies, those are like more of that genre type of music, which we incorporate. So it's a crowd that with live bands and music and entertainment where they're constructing that same type of sound of music, and that's what we're doing. So it's not like rap or anything like that. It's more of live entertainment. That type of soulful music is what we do.
It's like an oldies type of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's
You-
exactly
you've
what it
answered my
is.
question.
Okay.
Do you operate any other similar establishments?
I actually do. I own a record label as well, and I also run a security company as well, and that's what I do, and I throw concerts. So I'm very familiar with this, and I'm also a radio DJ at a local radio station, Old School 104.7. So I have a big following in this area out here
Okay.
as far as,
Do
you know.
you have like bar establishments like this other places? Or is this
Not
the first
not
one?
bar not bar establishments, but this will be my first
Okay.
that I'm running. But I have thrown shows and concerts with bigger venues, Ontario Arena and facilities like that, where I would run a big audience. So I'm very familiar on how to run all that.
So you would be the DJ?
I would be the DJ overlooking everything, as well as my wife helping me out on everything else on the location. So yeah, I would be the one that would be playing the music, and it's pretty cool because I'll be playing 45s as you see my establishment in the pictures. I'll play vinyl, and people kind of like, oh wow, that's pretty awesome to do that, taking it back.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll be doing everything.
It's gonna be,
The bad thing about having a own business is your boss is usually a pain to get a time off.
yeah, and that's my wife, so that's gonna be
Yeah,
kind of difficult to be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Thank-
But it's definitely the city I wanted to do it at, and I live here as well. I'm
Okay.
also a resident of Rialto, so very excited to be able to bring something.
You know, the only concern we have, conditional development permits similar to, of this type, is just, concern that riffraff and trouble, you know, occur there. So please be mindful of that. I know you've worked with the police department, so that's one thing that's a quick way to get you back in here to look at revoking types of conditions. So I would be mindful of that. Okay?
Absolutely, and that's one thing too. I'm a BSI holder, a Bureau of Security Investigation Service holder, as well as my guard card and everything. So I run my security company that they're licensed
Oh,
and bonded. So I'm very familiar with that. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Perfect.
So I'm able to run that patrol units and everything. So I'm very familiar with all that. So my staff will be there maintaining everything as far as any suspicious activity.
Excellent. Any other questions of the applicant? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, John.
Do you have any requests to speak? Okay, do I have a motion to close? Move to close?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second?
Any opposed? Okay, all right. Do I have a motion to entertain?
One, to determine the project is categorically exempt pursuant to CEQA Section 15301, Class 1 existing facilities, and adopt a resolution making a finding of public convenience or necessity to allow the on-sale of beer and wine for the establishment of a bar located at 108 South Riverside Avenue, and to adopt a resolution approving conditional development permit number 2024-0005 for live music and entertainment.
Second.
Oh, we need to add number 5? You already did that one? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't.
Do we need to read that one as well, Counselor?
I don't think you need to read the condition, but it's just as amended
Okay,
with the condition that was distributed and available.
okay,
As amended.
okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, no opposed. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
It's good. We get some more activity down there, you know, and stuff. It's good. Good luck. Yeah, we need stuff like that. We don't have any of that going on.
This is just the city website.
I'll take that over 9 cents.
Thank you, sir.
On the website. You couldn't get the program.
Over tattoo parlor.
And a tattoo parlor. Next item, please.
What do you do?
Oh, the man himself. All right, brother.
We got another car wash?
That was my question.
Oh, this is the same one though, isn't
How
it?
many do we have?
This is just coming back again.
I think this one's coming back. Because they don't want to pay for the,
What the hell did he do to my computer here?
yeah, mine's still, I'm good. We got this. All right, sir. Okay.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Planning Commission, Paul Gonzalez, Community Development Manager. Before you tonight is a proposed Quick Quack Car Wash, along with a specific plan amendment to change the zoning designation or planned area within the Foothill specific plan, conditional development permit for the use of a car wash, and a precise plan design for the design architecture of the proposed site as well. The project site is located on the northeast corner of Linden Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. You can see the big project site area. It may look familiar to you because it was before you in February for a lot split. So it's actually, that project's actually 2 parcels now. Just wanted to point that out for you. So the proposed car wash would be right on the corner. So as mentioned earlier, a specific plan amendment is proposed to go from residential mixed use, which allows for residential and commercials currently, to a commercial pedestrian, which would allow for a car wash use with the conditional development permit. You can see the site plan for the proposed layout. So when staff was working with the applicant, we wanted to make sure we had a nice corner statement, so they located the building on the corner there. And you could see where the little X is over that box. That would be the exit of the car wash, where the blowers would be. So to the north of the site is an existing residential mixed-use site, and we wanted to make sure there was as few impacts as possible, including noise. So we worked with the applicant, and they actually redesigned their project to locate the blowers and everything closer to Foothill Boulevard, away from that possible sensitive use as well. So you could actually enter from Foothill Boulevard and make a left into the site and go north into the entryway of the car wash, and then exit on the south side. Here's a proposed elevation of the car wash. It will have the typical split face design for most of the quick quack car washes that you see out there. And the green color that they have as a trim, that's just kind of like their signature, with the grays and the browns as well. Staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt a resolution forwarding a recommendation to the City Council for the recommendation for the specific plan amendment 23-001. Adopt a resolution forwarding to the City Council recommendation for conditional development permit 23-021 for the use of the car wash, and to forward a recommendation to the Council for the precise plan design 2023-027 for site and architectural review of the site. I did hear one of the commissioners ask about car washes in the general area. The closest car wash is to the east, which is just under a mile away. And I actually, let me see if I added it on here. Oh, there it is. And you can't see it from this angle, but it's a mile east of the site. So the applicant will get a lot of the traffic, which is closer to Foothill Boulevard, coming into our city. So staff and the applicant are available to answer any questions.
Let's go and open the public hearing. Does the applicant like to speak?
I'm a question answer.
Okay.
Yeah, hey,
Paul, I think real quick, he has a quick question.
what is the address of this place?
1364 West Foothill.
Huh?
1364 West Foothill.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hey.
Staff, as usual, did a great job. There's really not much I can add. We're in agreement with the conditions. We look forward to getting this project out of the ground, hopefully in the next couple months, and cleaning up a corner that's been sitting empty most of my life. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may
Any
have.
questions of the applicant?
I think most of the time we usually send out a letter to the surrounding residents and businesses for response to the proposal. Did we send that out this time? And did we get any response?
Commissioner Gonzalez, yes, we sent the notices out to the property owners within the vicinity of 600 feet, and we also posted it in the local newspaper as well. I received one email and phone call from a resident requesting information on it, and I believe they're in favor. They're here tonight as well, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr.
We're good? Thank you, guys.
Do you have any other requests to speak? Questions? We do?
Zach Hovey.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Zach Hovab. Actually, I'm the owner of the property, the vacant lot north of the subject property. I don't have a problem with a car wash being built in front of Foothill. The concern I have is two. One is noise levels that could be addressed, and I believe, talking to Paul Gonzalez, he said that these are discussed and are going to be part of the condition of approvals. The other concern I have, and just highlighting that the change to pedestrian commercial would not affect me in a way that my intent is soon to start developing the multifamily. And if that's allowed, which I'm assuming based on Paul, allowing for 30 units to the acre, I would be okay with that. Other than that, I don't have any objections.
Okay, thank you, sir. Paul, can you answer some of his concerns?
Yes, and I spoke to the gentleman earlier today and on the phone yesterday. They do have to meet our noise ordinances. Typically, quick quack car washes close by 9 o'clock. I believe they're gonna do the same for this one as well. Regarding the noise, we did work with the applicant to locate the blowers closer to Foothill Boulevard. His zoning is not changing.
Okay.
He can do 30 units per acre. We do have a Foothill Central specific plan, meeting probably scheduled for the council the next couple months. We're actually recommending to do up to 35 units per acre for his site. So he can still do a mixed use product, residential, and commercial uses as well.
You're okay, sir, with that? You good? Okay. Hey, do you have any other requests to speak?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Any opposed? Closing? No? Okay, do I have a motion to entertain?
Move to adopt the resolution forwarding to the city council a recommendation to approve Pacific Plan Amendment number 2023-001 and to adopt a resolution forward to the city council a recommendation to approve condition development permit number 2023-0021 for the use of a car wash and to adopt a resolution forwarding to the city council a recommendation to approve precise plan of design number 2023-027 for site and architectural review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, thank you. Good luck to you. Thank you. Next item, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Commissioners, I'll be making the presentation here on tonight's last public hearing item. This is a project that's entitled 2257 South Willow Avenue Warehouse Project, and the applicant is DP Willow LLC. The project site, as you can see here on this slide, it's located there within the red boundary. It's one parcel of land, approximately 4.76 acres in size, located on the east side of Willow Avenue, south of Slover Avenue. It is within the heavy industrial land use district of the Aguamanza specific plan. The site was previously developed into a steel fabrication facility and was occupied by Camlin Steel, who is no longer there at the site. And then, as you can see in the image there, it's surrounded by various industrial developments, including directly to the south. It may look vacant, but that's actually a site that's being redeveloped into a about 99,000 square foot warehouse. And then to the west, you have the Old Dominion truck terminal facility. There's some smaller industrial buildings to the east, and the Old Dominion truck maintenance facility directly to the north of the site. And so what the applicant proposes to do is to demolish all the existing buildings on site and then redevelop the site with a 100,020 square foot industrial warehouse building. So this is a site plan that you can see here. The building will be basically located in the center of the site with the truck court and the dock doors facing south towards that other planned warehouse. There will be 13 dock doors within that truck court. And parking areas on the west and east sides of the building that'll have up to 72 parking spaces. And then also landscaping will be provided around the entire perimeter of the site and along the street frontage. And go on to the next slide here. This is just an image here of the landscape plan. The landscape coverage proposes at 8.2%. There is no minimum within the Aguamanza specific plan. That landscaping, again, is coming from a 15-foot landscape setback along the Willow Avenue frontage, and then planters at the perimeter of the building and also the perimeter of the site. Next slide. These are the two-dimensional elevations showing you all four sides of the building. This building will feature a wall plane articulation in the form of offset wall panels It'll be of concrete tilt-up construction, painted in a palette of 4 different colors. And it'll also feature wood tile accents at the corner where the office will be located. And then you can see generous amounts of glazing, particularly on the west elevation that would face Willow Avenue, and then also at the corners so that it'll be visible to passersby. And did I go too far? No, yep. And there seems to be a couple of slides missing in this thing. Let me see if they got out of order. No. Okay. In your handout, there should be additional slides, but I don't know why on the, so I don't know why it's not showing up on the computer, but on the handout, there was also then a rendering included, if you're looking at your handout, just a three-dimensional rendering that shows the image as if you were on Willow Avenue, looking northeast towards the building, so you can see that wood tile accent and then the glazing there, and then what the landscaping would look like as it matures. And then on the next slide, public hearing notices were sent out to all property owners within 1,000 feet of the site, and that notice was also published in the San Bernardino Sun newspaper. As far as any type of analysis that was done for this site, there was a traffic scoping agreement prepared for this project. The trip generation estimated about 102 passenger car trips a day, and up to as many as 68 truck trips a day. Those numbers did not meet the city's threshold for preparing a complete traffic impact analysis. It was exempt from that, so there's no impact to any level of service in the area, to any intersections, and therefore no need for any additional roadway improvements or fair share fees. And then this project is exempt pursuant to Section 15332, infill development projects of the California Environmental Quality Act. And with that, the Planning Division recommends that the Planning Commission determine that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, and then adopt the attached resolutions Exhibit I and J to approve the conditional development permit and the precise plan of design. And that concludes my presentation. Staff is available for any questions, as well as the applicant. They are in the audience too. And I think they may actually just want to say, address the commission as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, any questions, staff? I think your audio's on that laptop. Any questions of staff?
Well, the only thing I have a question about is the traffic. Traffic is horrible. Are you gonna fix Riverside? Widen Riverside all the way down towards, what is it, the cutoff at Agua Mansa?
This project is going to just do their street frontage improvements. So they will pay into development impact fees, which does include a regional traffic development impact fee. That those fees go towards those types of regional improvements, which includes the Riverside 10 interchange improvement. That is a project that's still in the early design stages. So they will be paying towards that, their share of development impact fees.
Because even though it's a warehouse, the traffic is horrible on Slover and Agua Mansa and all of those east and west and north and south. It's just unbelievable. I hadn't seen traffic that heavy. And if that's going to be an everyday thing, I'm wondering what level of service that would be.
So this particular project did not do a traffic impact analysis because it did not meet the warrant, the threshold for conducting such a study. We've had previous ones that show particularly the intersection of Slover and Riverside, right? That is at level of service E. And so this is the reason why Caltrans and is working on this, and the city working on this Riverside 10 interchange project. So there is a project underway, much like we had with the Alder 210 that's under construction right now. So there is a project, it's in its early stages, and as development projects are coming along, as we've seen, they're paying their fair shares into that to fund that, to help fund that project.
How far along is that study or that improvement?
I know it's still in the early design phases. I could, probably at a later meeting, bring some more details as far as timing. It's still in an early stage.
Okay. And I'm very concerned about the pollution, the traffic, the pollution. There's just gonna be a lot of accidents coming and going. And that's my opinion, okay? And that's why I bring it up, because I think, we need to take a closer look at what we're approving and why.
Yeah, understood. And, I would just reiterate, this is the heavy industrial land use district. This is where these types of uses are intended, envisioned to go. And this is a redevelopment. It was already an operation that already had truck traffic coming in and out of it. So, it's going to be of a similar nature of what was previously there, just that instead of having this kind of outdoor activity that was happening there and some covers, it'll all be enclosed within a building now.
No, I'm aware of that. I understand. I'm really hesitant.
This is another spec building, right? There's no end user?
As far as I'm aware, yeah, we can ask the applicant to confirm that, but my understanding is a speculative warehouse, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, open the public comment. Do you have any requests to speak? Would the applicant like to speak?
Hi, good evening, commissioners. My name's Ben Horning. I'm with Dado Properties. Thank you for having us here tonight. I think in reference to a few of your questions that you did have, it is speculative at this time, so we do not have a tenant currently. But, we do own a decent amount of property in the city of Rialto. So, we are looking, our goal is more longer term, and we want to continue, investing dollars into the city of Rialto here. So this is just another kind of step in that direction. But yeah, happy to answer any other questions that you may have.
Is the appetite still really there for warehouses? I mean, the whole state of California is a big warehouse now. I'm just trying to understand the industry a bit more.
There's a lot of vacancies.
Yeah, there's a lot of vacancies. What is the? It must be a lot cheaper, obviously, to develop a big empty building opposed to commercial retail. But what's there really is that much
It's not
need?
cheap. I'll say that. It is changing. The environment is a little unusual right now, but I think in this property in particular, one thing the tenant, the steel company, actually is still on site right now, and they are operating, and they do have a lease actually for another. I think it's about a year further. So I think our plan is, we're hoping we wouldn't commence construction until that year has lapsed, and then by the time we're delivering, I think it'll be a different kind of economic time.
Yeah.
And it'll be delivering at the right time.
We hope so.
Yeah, hope so.
Well, construction.
Well, you're only building 100,000, so your chances of renting is a lot better than a
Yeah.
300 or
Yes.
400 or 500,000 square foot building.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, is it possible that you're building them now, you can get more rent later from the rent?
It's tough to say, but potentially.
So you hold them until you can get them more rent. That's
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other requests to speak on this item?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
In favor?
Move to adopt the attached
Hold on
resolution.
real quick, I'm sorry.
Just real quick, Dale.
Oh, for Dale, go ahead.
Yeah. This portion was left off of that. This would be the sequel portion first and then that.
Read that first and then the sheet of paper.
We'll do that one first before
Yes.
this.
Yes.
We find that the project is categorically exempt under sequel guidelines section 15332 and adopt the attached resolution exhibit I and J to approve conditional development permit number 2022-0061 and precise plan and design number 2022-0082, allowing the development and use of a 100,000 square foot industrial warehouse building on approximately 76 acres of land, assessor parcel number 0258-041-08, subject to the findings and conditions therein, and to adopt a,
We're good.
Second.
All in favor?
I oppose.
Okay. We'll take an individual roll call then. You oppose?
No.
You oppose?
yes.
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 Okay, thank you. That motion carries. Thank you.
Carries, right?
Yeah.
Even though one's gone.
All right.
Yes, motion passed.
Thank you.
Right.
Mr. Gonzalez, any comments?
Yes, actually, Daniel Case is going to be giving one more presentation.
Oh, he is.
A few meetings ago, the commission asked us to do a report on the
The
amount of vacancies
warehouses,
on
yeah.
warehouses.
Oh, yeah.
So for the last
I remember that.
for the last couple of months now, Daniel's been working with our business license folks to
Okay.
find out just how many warehouses we do have in the city.
Let's make sure we send a copy to John too, because I'm sure he would have really loved to be present for this. Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
So they located all the warehouses in the city and did a pretty good report on the amount of vacancies we have. So let Daniel go ahead and give that presentation shortly.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't look too pretty, but it's got, I think, the information that you're looking for. So the planning division and the business licensing division coordinated in order to develop this list for you. And what it does is it identifies every warehouse within the city of Rialto, and it's by region. So on this first page, these are all the warehouses that are north of the 210 freeway that are completed, that first section. And you can see the columns here are on the left, we have the address of each warehouse, and then we have the floor area in terms of square feet. And then we have a column there, occupied, yes or no. And then we have tenant, and in that column is if we were able to identify a tenant name, and if we have a business license record, we included that information in there. And then we've tallied up the square footages of all the warehouses here. So, like I said, this first page has north of the 210 freeway, and then at the bottom of it, that page has warehouses that are not yet constructed. The Planning Commission has seen those, approved them. They may be under construction or very soon to be under construction. So obviously there's not a tenant if the building's not there yet. But as you can see, and I'll just go probably region by region here. You can see here north of the 210 freeway, the vast majority of those buildings are occupied, and we have the tenants identified. There are 5 that are currently not occupied. And the reason why we wanted to compile all this information is to give you context to this, because even though there are 5 that are unoccupied, we discovered that 2 of those are soon to be occupied. These are of these 5, they're all new buildings that were built in the last year, and 3 of them were just received their certificate of occupancy in the summer of 2023, and those are 3 buildings that are right along the 210 freeway. They're smaller buildings, all under 50,000 square feet, and then the other 2 buildings are a little further west of Casmalia, near the intersection of Alder. Those 2 remaining buildings, one just signed a lease. The city doesn't know the tenant name yet, but I spoke to the broker who informed me that that it had just been leased. And then the second building was sold to an owner user, a company called RevChem. So even though they're not occupied now, what we're finding is that within a year of these facilities being built, that's typically when they get the tenant. And then I'll also note for the commission, it's pretty much across the board, and you'll see it here on the next few pages, that it's actually the smaller buildings that are having the difficulty leasing. All the buildings that are empty are the ones that are under 50,000 square feet. Anything over 50, they seem to be able to lease very quickly. There may be a few exceptions in this list, but that's, as you look through this list, that's what you'll notice. For instance, you see those ends, 46,000, 37,000, 24,000, and you've got the million square footers that are all occupied, or the ones in the several 100,000 square feet.
It's an eye opener because of all these warehouses, I thought there was like a 50% vacancy and you only got 11 that's not
Yeah, so
occupied.
before I continue on the list, I'll give you the whole numbers. So there are 93 warehouses in the city of Rialto, and right now there are 13 that are not occupied. So that's if you just look at it that way, it's a 14% vacancy rate. However, of those 13, 4, like I said, they're spoken for.
Makes him feel good.
Yep, 4 are spoken for, and the other 9 that are currently vacant, 7 of those are new. They just recently got their occupancy permit. They're within 12 months. And then the other 2 had tenants, and recently the tenants moved out. So they're in a transitional phase, basically, of finding a new tenant. So based on my analysis of this, there doesn't seem to be much vacancy. They within 12 months they're getting filled up, even the small ones. Those ones appear to take a little more time than the big ones. So I don't know if you have any questions on the north of the 210 list. Otherwise, I can just move on to the next page.
So all of those signs that say your company name can go here are all pretty much filled?
Well, that particular one you're talking about is those 3, the 46, the 37, and the 24, that are, they were completed last summer, about August. And so, yeah, that company, that developer is advertising those for lease. So if the trends go as they seem to, by summertime, they will likely start getting tenants in those buildings.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time consuming. I appreciate all your work. You've done a great job. I have a question on the last page. There was one, the owner vacated. It was occupied, then it was vacated.
The last page. You have the address on that one?
That's what I'm looking for. Well, I thought I had it. Hold on just a minute.
Sure. I was gonna say we can continue through the list and we'll probably get to, oh, I see it. It's at the top of page 3.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Previously occupied, tenant vacated.
Yep. So that's one of those 2 buildings that I spoke of. They both are in the Renaissance specific plan. There's another one, 2000 West Baseline on the second page. They just happened to be that they had tenants, and they just this year there was no renewal of the license, and the buildings are vacant now. That's 2000 West Baseline and 2615 West Renaissance. And I did some research of the addresses there and saw that their brokers are advertising these buildings for lease. So they had tenants recently, and they lost the tenants.
Okay.
So, so if we move on to page 2, that's any warehouse, and this is where we find the majority of them in Rialto, the area between Baseline and the 210 freeway. So primarily the Renaissance specific plan, but also some of the remnants of the airport specific plan, and also the Pepper Avenue specific plan. And if you notice, that particular area has over 15 million square feet of warehousing developed. And of those, there's about 30 warehouses in that particular area, and only 3 of them are vacant. Those 2 that we just spoke of, 2000 West Baseline and 2615 West Renaissance, that recently had their tenants move out. And then the third one, 1990 West Renaissance, which is on the south side of the 210 freeway, that was also completed last summer. So a newer building that I confirmed is still advertised for lease. So in that particular area, the Renaissance area, there's a lot of filled buildings. There's very little vacancy in the Renaissance area. And then you can see on page 3, there's still a lot that are also planned for as well. So we'll keep this as a living list, and as these ones get finished being built, we'll add them to the completed. And when they get tenants, we'll keep updating it. We'll just make this a living list that we can share with the commission on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Sure. And then the page 4, this is the area basically west of City Hall here, between the two railroad lines, the Metrolink and the old, well, it's now the trail, right? The one, but the old Pacific Electric rail line. And you can see there's about 11 or 12 warehouses in that area, and every single one is occupied. No vacancy in any of those warehouses. And there are several more that are planned and under construction. And then page 5, I believe it is, Gateway. Gateway has, this is kind of, I think, an area that really didn't have much warehousing historically, and it's kind of started moving into that area. And so you've got, how many do we have there now? 7 buildings. The only 3 that are not occupied are those 3 new ones, the smaller ones, yet again, under or right at 50,000 or less, along San Bernardino Avenue, right there at Willow, kind of between Willow, those 3 new ones. And one of those just recently got leased to United Material Handling, and they've submitted a tenant improvement application. So they're doing some work getting their operation set up in there. And then the last page, Aguamanza. This is the historic area, right, where industrial has been for many years. And so you can see there's about 20 or so warehouses in that area, a little over 4 million square feet. And we identified of those, 2 are not occupied, but there's context to those as well. If you look 2238 South Lilac, and perhaps our audience may actually be able to give us some information on that, but that particular one's a newer one, spring of 2023. So I'm sure that they're probably still working towards getting a tenant. And if you notice the other unoccupied one, 2365, it's in the works of having a tenant. It's going to be an owner user. Garcia Woodworks purchased it. They're actually going through the PPD process with planning to get it redeveloped. That's the only reason why it's not occupied. So I mean, you could, in some sense, I didn't want to put these occupied unless there's an actual operation going on.
Right.
So, but so there's no operation going on, but they're working on getting it reestablished. And those are the only 2 in Aguamanza.
Okay.
And that's it. That's the list.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Hello.
I have
I
something
have a
to say.
question, Ed.
Okay, who's first? Go ahead, Fred.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I want to say that I'm still concerned about the pollution, and that's it seems to be a growing issue. I know a lot of warehouses, especially the newer ones, they say, well, we'll put in new air conditioning for the schools. And that's appreciated, but it doesn't resolve the problem. Because people who live here, especially the young ones and the older ones, they don't have any control over the pollution that they have to breathe. And that's why, and I apologize to you because I voted no, but that's one of my main concerns, and that was something that I think you mentioned in one of your comments about the air conditioning. Because I know you're trying to address it. I have another solution, or another thought. I'm going to share this with the rest of the commission. Instead of buying equipment, maybe the new warehouses can put in some cash into a fund that will grow and address the issues that arise from people breathing the pollution. Because putting in air conditioning is maybe $300,000-400,000, okay, but the problem does not solve the person's long-term disability. And we're talking about people, and that's where I'm concerned.
We are addressing the problem, I think. Tesla's just sold, I think, what was it, 20,000 or something trucks, they're electric, replacing diesel trucks.
How long is that gonna take?
They're doing it now.
I know. But, and that's, and I bring this up because I think we need to talk about it. I understand what you're saying, and I've seen that. but I'm still concerned. I don't know what the outcome will be from the electrification of vehicles. Maybe other problems. I don't know. And I don't want to solve all the problems that we face. We're here to do something for now, but we want to make the area habitable for people, a good residential area for businesses and residents, and especially the schools.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
Now I'll get off my soapbox, okay?
Go ahead.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your comments.
Okay, my question is, it's great, we see 93 warehouses here and 13 of them is empty right now, right? What percent of the warehouses that we got workers that live in Rialto are making money and bring back to the city? With
No,
those 93?
I don't have that data for you. That'll take a lot more research. So
I'll give you one more, maybe a little easier. How many of these are point of sales?
that would take some additional research, but I would say the
Five.
vast minority
Handful,
are point of sales. Yeah, but they do pay business license tax, and typically that's 7.5 cents a square foot.
That's not enough to cover government pensions and services needed for the
So
city.
if you add, add
We need
these up,
point of
it's,
sales.
40 million
Yeah.
square feet. So about $30 million in business license tax annually coming to the city. And then some of them do have sales tax, Medline.
Yeah, Medline's my
contributor,
favorite.
And there's several others too. But yeah, I understand, your point is well received.
Okay, thank you. Anything?
Okay, I just wanted to thank Daniel Casey again.
Yeah,
and,
thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Dan.
And Brian
And-
Vasquez and Efren Torres from Business
You
License.
beat me to it, Daniel. I was getting
Okay.
there. Our business license folks, Brian Vasquez and
Yep.
Efren Gonzalez.
All right.
They gave us a nice little list of warehouses, but it took time for business license folks to look everyone up, make sure
Yeah.
they had business licenses, and the ones that did not, they went to the sites and saw if they were actually vacant or occupied. So,
Thank you, brother.
all right, and I did have a
Thank
few things I wanted to.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have something, Robert?
Counselor? No? Go ahead.
Okay, a few things. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., we're having a general plan update meeting. As you know, we're updating 4 of our elements: the safety element, circulation element, our newest one, which is our environmental justice element, and our land use element. So 6 o'clock tomorrow in the Francis Brooks Center, if you could join us.
Okay.
It's just north of City Hall.
Did you ever figure out what that means?
Environmental justice.
Yeah. Remember I was trying to get a definition. It's like gobbledygook made up terminology.
I could probably get you a good definition. It's a,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
we can talk
Yeah, I
about
appreciate
it tomorrow. How's
that.
that? I'll see you tomorrow at the meeting. Then we'll
Yeah.
talk about it. 6 p.m.
Just trying to find justice.
Where is this?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
At the
Go ahead, Mr.
at the-
Gonzalez, as I get off track here.
It's going to be at the Francis Brooks Center tomorrow.
Where is it at?
It's going to be at 214 North Palm Avenue.
It's by the
Just north of us.
gymnasium,
Yeah,
and that's at 6 o'clock, right?
at 6 o'clock, yes.
Yeah.
So our next meeting will be June 5th.
Oh,
So as you know, our meeting is now the first and third Wednesdays of the month. So there's a little bit of a break there. And then we also have, I wanted to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day, which is coming up soon. It'll be before our next meeting. And then we also had our groundbreaking this last Monday for the police department, which is, I heard it was great. I was fortunate I couldn't attend. I had some other last minute meetings I had to go to. So, and lastly, I wanted to introduce our newest senior planner. Her name is Sandra Robles, and she comes from South Pasadena. Sandra has over 20 years of experience working in planning. She's worked on a bunch of advanced planning projects, worked with different boards, historical board, cultural board, of course, council and planning commission. She worked on doing policy work and crafting work actually for their accessory dwelling units and a bunch of other stuff. And I'll let her
Oh, good deal. Hi.
introduce herself.
Welcome.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I would like to just add last but not least. Just kidding, Paul. Yes, Paul covered all of my work experience. I worked for the public sector, the private sector, and nonprofit. I was previously a senior analyst for HUD's Office of Policy Development and Research, research director at the Urban Land Institute, senior planner and project manager for a small consulting firm, and most recently I was associate planner at the City of South Pasadena. So I'm very happy to be here and working with the City of Rialto and staff, and everyone's been very welcoming, and I've already been learning a lot, so I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. All right, any planning commissioner comments? So the only thing, remind you when, because there's, on Casa Grande, when they start moving that repaving, because I really, a lot of the community members really like to get rid of the obstacle course we created, because I think that they're ready to punch that through all the way to Sierra right here pretty quick.
I know Public Works has been out there a couple times, so they are actually evaluating it now. I'll follow up with them as well.
Yeah, I don't think it needs a road diet anymore. Once that road opens all the way through to go to Sierra, I think a great majority of the target traffic will stop going through Las Colinas and go straight to Sierra. And it's kind of, the problem is that everyone drives around the cones, and it's like creating a hazard. 'Cause they don't follow it anyway, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. It's like, I think it was a good college try, but and there's weeds growing everywhere where the cones are. It's just a mess. It needs to be done.
All right.
And I'd be more than happy to meet whoever needs out there to explain concerns, whatever. Just let me know.
Paul, I can tell you part of the problem we're having. When I moved to Rialto with 17,000 population, we didn't have any of these problems.
Yeah. Okay. I have nothing else, and I can get a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
All right, thank you. We're adjourned.
I don't think you had the